What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey, and you guys might have noticed a new battle drills is started, and if you guys are like me and love doing the boss battles, this is going to be the setup guide for you right here. We're going to be going over the 3 teams we're going to be using this week in order to crush these bosses. Now remember, you want to try to at least do like just one hit with each one of these teams very early on. This first team I will say is probably the most pay to win team. The other two are going to be very simple free to play possible teams if you've been playing smartly with your resources, all that fun stuff. Of course, this first team very expensive because it's going to include 3 very big heroes here. They're going to be the twins, they're going to be Taylene, and they are going to be Rainier. Very pricey team to put together. Beyond that, we're going to be using one of the big damage dealers out there that is not part of the Celestial Hydrogen faction. That's going to be Bonnie. We're actually going to place her down the bottom. And lastly, this is going to be one that is really going to depend on your account, but having a Cassidy is going to be very strong. We are also very heavily invested into our faction talents. I'm actually pushing our light dark one to be the highest one. So this is going to be the squad right here. It may look a little funky, a little different. Let's go through the battle. Let's see how this actually turns out against Marilee. Again, sometimes against like Marilee and the Aaron ones, it's not the best out there, but we want to make sure, number one, survivability is not an issue, which it does not look like is going to be an issue whatsoever. God, the game looks so cartoonish now that we do like 3 times speed and everything. Just absolutely nuts. But again, we want to watch this, make sure there's no issues, make sure we don't need to change anything up. But yeah, overall, it looks like this is going to be pretty solid for an attempt here. Lots of damage being done. We're actually already over 10% of her health pool completely gone. And again, yeah, survivability does not seem to be an issue whatsoever. We're going to get to about 17, almost 18 full bars taken out with this setup. So not too bad. Taylene obviously the winner, but really good numbers on there. So pretty solid. Let's go in with our second team now. So now that we've exhausted that whole team, we are going to be going over for the next 2 teams for the Blade Summon spell. This one is going to use some very big fan favorites from the, I guess you could say the newer days here that you're using, as well as some of those old favorites like heroes like Odie. We are going to be going heavily into the Wilder faction on this one. We're going to be putting Parisa here, and we're going to be putting Lily May in the back corner here. Now we do need one more fill for this team, and it really comes down to what you have. You can either run Brian or you can run Leica if you don't have Brian to Supreme Plus. This right here should be a very solid team to use. You got good survivability. You have the true damage. Remember, the one reason why people use Hugin so much now with those magic charms is it gives a percentage of the damage of the target behind them. It turns it into true damage. So Odie is doing like, I think 30% of his damage as true damage, which is very good against bosses here. So let's see how this compares. We went for the very super pay-to-win heavy style team. Let's go to a very free-to-play friendly team. Granted, there's like Parisa and Brian, which not everybody builds, so it's a little difficult. And then we're going to go over to a very funky Graveborn team for our last one. So let's see what this damage comes up to. The last team got to about 17 billion damage. This one's already moving up to 13. And it looks like it's going to be pretty dang close. 14 billion, 14.3, not too bad. We'll take that hit as well. Pretty solid, and you can see Odie doing all the heavy lifting right there. A lot of the heroes we're using are just for those faction bonuses. One of the most important things is getting that faction bonus. Now, this one, like I said, is gonna be a funky looking team, and it's gonna have a hero that you might not use very often, but yeah, this is where magic charms are going to play a big role, because as you see here, I only have the elite version for Nero. I actually can't upgrade it any further, which is going to be a very big downside. But using these random heroes that you normally would never touch because of their magic charms, I kind of feel like it's something pretty cool. So we're going to be putting you in, we're going to be putting Carolina in, and we're going to go to one of my fan favorite heroes ever released, Ulsa. Ulsa is going to be one of the main damage dealers here. The other one is a must, Morel, but you need to have her at Supreme Plus. and you need to have that special enhanced force unlocked so that she's actually doing pretty good damage. So let's throw this in. Let's see how it goes. Now, if you don't have heroes like Niru, and you don't have the newer hero right here, Valka, because not everybody pulled Valka, you can substitute Thorin in. So like putting Thorin up front where Niru is and putting Ludovic in here. So those are like the two options. You can swap those out. Those are a possibility that you can do. But this type of team should pump some major damage as well. And let's just see what the final tally is. All these teams, I like it when like all three teams do a very similar amount of damage. I'm tired of the ones that we used to have where like one team like did 150 billion and the next best one did like 30 billion. It was just really weird how that works out. But let's see. This one feels like it's definitely gonna be a little weaker. We of course have also just going absolutely nuts on her ultimates right here. It's a crazy amount. We're up to 5 billion, so this one might only get to like the 8-ish billion mark by the end, which does mean it is a much weaker team. And I feel like out of all the teams, you might be able to find a better team set up to use on this one here compared to the other two. The other two feel pretty good. They feel solid. There's a possibility of swapping heroes out. Yeah, it doesn't quite get to 10 billion here, but you can see the amount of damage is Morel is pumping. So let me know what you guys think. That is going to be our 3 hits for the day. We get up to 58%. And actually, you know what? You can actually take a look right here. The 3 different teams and their complete damage output. So if you guys know of better teams, leave a comment down below. Share it with the community. Let's find the best teams possible. And I'll see you guys next time.